Hello everyone, welcome to Starting Out Solitary. Today is Thursday. I am MonsoonMagick, your sub-host today. So this week we are talking about a year and a day study. And so in this video I'm going to talk to you about my personal experience and then give you some recommendations. So a year and a day study is a typical practice on our path where you study either alone or with someone for a year, and one day comes from the mythology of the goddess of Caradwin, where she stirred her cauldron for a year and a day. In terms of my personal experience, I have not undergone a formal year and a day study. I have been studying with Annie through the season of the Seeker program, Annie from Earth and Reverence, and that is it's not exactly a year and a day program. It's a study program where we study our path. We've been working with the elements for that entire time. It's been, about a year and maybe 3 months now at this point, year and 4 months. But we've been working with the elements. We've been doing a lot of foundational work as well, but it's not been a Wiccan specific study. Before I started with Annie, in fact, right before I started the season The Seeker, I had created my own year and a day curriculum, which is something that I was going to talk to you about. So if you don't have a teacher, if you don't have someone to work with, you can definitely create your own curriculum for a year and a day. And that's what I did. If you want to get more specific details on it, I do have some videos on my personal channel. I think there's 2 where I kind of walk you through what my curriculum looks like. But basically what I did is I took a couple books that I had. These were 2 of them, but I used more. And I developed a program for myself that would walk me through the wheel of the year, teach me about the mythology of the god and goddess, teach me about other gods, teach me about the elements, and then align that with the tools that we use in our practice. And I just kind of outlined my year and what it was going to look like, and I was going to undertake my own year and a day study. I never actually started it because as soon as I developed that curriculum, literally like the next week, I was accepted into the Season of the Seeker program. And that's been taking a lot of my time because it's 2 lessons a week. And I've been doing that for, like I said, over a year. So one option for a year and a day is to create your own program. There are some online programs. In fact, there's a ton of online programs. If you Google a year and a day, the problem is I don't know how reputable the people are that are giving those classes, but I would, at this point, I'm going to recommend one. I know that Lunar Wisdom, Cricket Song, she does have a year and a day program. It's a dedicant program. If I was going to do an online dedicant program with anyone other than Annie, she is the one I would work with. It's a rigorous process to get in. There's an application. There are fees associated with it. There are books you are going to buy. But in terms of giving you a really solid foundation and working with someone very, very reputable and trustworthy, Cricket Song would be the person, or Lunar Wisdom would be the person that I would highly recommend if you wanted to do a more formalized study with a teacher. I know Flora Peterson from Flora Sage Peterson, she was offering a year and a day, although it closes today. So if you watch the video today and you're still interested in her program, I know you can register up through today. This is the last time she's offering her year and a day. It's a little spendy, but she does give you monthly options. I think it comes out to about $40 a month. And then she walks you through, again, all the basics of the path and of your practice for a year and a day. So those would be the only 2 online that I'm very familiar with. I'm not saying there aren't other great online programs, but if I was going to invest my finances, my money, my time, those are the 2 that I would go with. In terms of books, if you're familiar with Christopher Penczak, he has the Inner Temple of Witchcraft, the Outer Temple of Witchcraft. These are a year and a day. The Inner Temple of Witchcraft is really your foundational text. It teaches you a lot about meditation, visualization, things like that. It's a really good book. I actually like the Outer Temple of Witchcraft better. It gives you more information on the god and the goddess and the actual practice of the craft. So I like both books in conjunction. What I do is I work through the Outer Temple of Witchcraft, and then when it refers me back to the Inner Temple of Witchcraft, I kind of look back at those lessons. But I really enjoy the Outer Temple of Witchcraft as a year and a day. I don't think it's too advanced even if you don't read the Inner Temple of Witchcraft. I think you would be totally fine. Ideally, I think working with both books kind of together is the way to go. And again, I work with the Outer Temple of Witchcraft. I read those lessons. And then when it refers me back to the Inner Temple of Witchcraft, then I'll kind of go back and look at those. We do a lot of the work that is in the Inner Temple of Witchcraft. We did a lot of that in the Season of the Seeker. So I feel like I've got a really good foundation with that. And then another really great book, I'm sure you guys have seen this, is Timothy Roderick's Wicca, A Year and a Day, 366 Days of Spiritual Practice in the Craft of the Wise. This is a really good book, not super time consuming. Some of the lessons are nice and short. There are quite a bit of supplies you need, which I somewhat struggle with that concept because I don't think you need any supplies really to do A Year and a Day, but this is a really good book. It's very systematic. It walks you through in a very logical way the practice. And so when I created my own curriculum, I used this book, and I used this book, and I used the Outer Temple of Witchcraft, all kind of in conjunction to create my own curriculum. A year and a day is something you can do as a beginner. I've seen a lot of videos where people go back and do a year and a day many years later. They've been studying or practicing for 10 or 15 years, and then kind of to like re-solidify all those foundational beliefs and practices, they'll go back and do another year and a day later. So it's something you can do at any time in your practice. I think whether you actually do the year and a day isn't as important as having that regular time to study and regular time to practice. And if the year and a day gives you that structure, then that's awesome, and that's definitely a way to go. But if you can create your own structure, your own way to study and practice, and you don't need the books, then by all means, create your own year and a day. Find your own path, study what interests you, and just be consistent with it. You know, just like anything in life, being consistent, putting in the time, putting in the effort, practicing, you know, we have to do that in everything, in every aspect of our life. So if you want to see how I developed my own year and a day curriculum, check out my personal channel. There's 2 videos on that. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. And it's been really fun subbing in this week, and I hope you all are having a very, very blessed day.